Hey guys, Scott here, and I want to talk about the changes that Oni got. Basically, he used to be, in my opinion, a top tier killer. Now he is definitely not. They removed the thing that made him good, which was the flick after his dash. So the flick allowed you to basically hit people in jungle gyms and T-walls and other tiles, which means he was a killer that had a power that could potentially counter some loops. And as you know, with Dead by Daylight, a killer that can counter loops is a very strong killer. So because of that, I thought he was extremely good. However, they just completely removed that. You can't do that anymore. So what they did, basically, you can still technically, by the end of your lunge, have the same rotation as the old lunge. But the thing is, all of the rotation is tied to like the last 0.1 seconds of it. So you can see here, the lunge is severely slow. You can turn like maybe 30 degrees, if that. And then right at the last second, then you can do your full rotation again. But by that time, you've gone so far in one direction, not rotating where you need to around a corner, that you just can't hit survivors anymore. So really, all you have to do as a survivor now is just go around a corner and keep running. And he can't flick around it anymore. So, terrible change. Ruins him completely. He's just kind of like a meh killer now. He's not terrible. He's not like fucking clown or anything, but he's just very meh. And he just feels awful to play now. The thing that's weird, though, is that there's a lot of conflicting information from the devs. For example, when the PTB was there and then they released it to the live servers, they nerfed the flick because it was too much. And I agree, it was too fast. It was a bit too much. So they nerfed the flick. They slowed it down significantly. They like half the speed of the flick. You could still do the rotation, but it was a lot slower. I was like, fine, that's fair. It was pretty broken. And now they've basically completely removed it. And now they're saying it was never intended to begin with, which I do not believe, because if it was never intended to begin with, they wouldn't have nerfed it. They would have removed it. So I feel like there's internal debate in the behavior right now going on. They don't even know what they want to do with the killer because they're kind of conflicting themselves. And also, Janik said that if you use mouse controls, you're not going to notice any difference. And also the patch notes said that as well. Completely untrue. I do not use keyboard at all. I only use mouse with very high sensitivity, and I feel like I'm steering a fucking bus when I turn with the flick now. So that is not true either. And then also they said that you're still supposed to be able to go 90 degrees with the flick, even though they just said the flick was never intended. They're just like, none of this shit makes any sense. They also said they weren't going to nerf this part. They were just going to remove the part where the keyboard gave you extra turning. So there's so much conflicting information here. Like, it seems like their behavior doesn't even know what they want to do with this killer. So I think that's the part I'm more annoyed about than the fact that he's not even good anymore. It's the fact that they don't even know what the fuck like they're talking about. Like, they're arguing with each other internally, or they're not communicating something with each other properly because people are telling me different things from their own staff. It's just very, very strange. Either way, yeah, very frustrating. The only silver lining is that one of them said that they are looking at the feedback that they received for this, and they think they probably pushed it a bit too far. So, don't expect this to be the permanent Oni. They are probably going to, not completely undo it, but they're gonna make it not as terrible. So, we'll see where he ends up. I'm not gonna rant too long about him yet, because like I said, they are planning on undoing a little bit of this stuff or making it a bit better. For Onis, so I'm not going to do anything yet, but once they make like one more change to them, that's pretty much what we're going to have for probably like a year. So the next change they do, which should be, relatively soon, probably like in a week or so, or a week or two, I don't know how long it'll take them, but whatever we get there is going to determine whether or not I'm very upset, because this is completely not needed. They already triple nerfed him. They nerfed the pallet break speed. They nerfed the cooldown coming out of his power. They nerfed the flick itself. They made it so when you hit people, you lose your power. Like, they nerfed a lot of him. He didn't need to remove the one thing that actually made him a good killer. So, I'm not going to be playing any Oni. He just feels terrible to play. That's like another like main thing too. Like, strength aside, he just feels awful to play. I could have a survivor right next to me and I can't hit them with my dash anymore. And it just feels so unrewarding. Just all the fun is just completely gone. So, I'm not going to play him until they change him. And if they don't change him, then, well, we had a good run, Oni. We had a good run, but fuck, man. What a terrible change. Really, really bad. And hope the fix they do for it eventually is enough to retain the fun that he once had for me. But that is it, guys. Sad face. See you later.